Mafe Management is a company dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses in PR and marketing, social media management, online show and podcast production, business consulting, graphic design, photography and videography, workshops and classes, events management, personality development, logo creation, illustrations, and animation. In working together to turn their dreams into reality. Get one step closer to elevating yourself and your business by contacting hello@mafemanagement.com. Let us empower you. Hello, everyone. Happy 2024. Can you believe it? I haven't seen you guys for quite some time, but I am so excited. And we have a new episode, new season of In Love With Me series. And you all know that we feature inspiring individuals who share their amazing stories. And of course, I am Mafe Yunam Velasco. And our theme for this series is embracing change. So what is that? Today, joining us is an amazing woman. You know, embracing change means to explore the power of adaptation and the beauty of embracing life's inevitable shifts in this season. So let's get ready to be inspired and motivated by a transformative business coach, speaker, and a creator of the financial freedom and joy. It's an amazing program, and let's call on this beautiful soul, Ren Robertz, to tell us more about it. Hi, Ren. Welcome to In Love With Me series.
Hello, hello. I am so honored to be here, and thank you so much for the invite and fun to kick it off with you.
Oh my gosh, you know, it was so nice to witness you smiling with a surprise of all your photos just flashing up. That's always our, our wow factor before we start the show, because we want to make sure that, you are reminded of how amazing you are. And of course, you're meeting the new community of In Love With Me. So please, Ren, share a little bit about or more about what you do and who you are.
Thanks. It's so wonderful. You know, the journey for me has been about finding my true joy. And this part of that aspect is, taking you back to childhood. I loved animals.
Right.
And so it was like I wanted to be a dolphin trainer when I grew up. Or maybe, people would say, be a vet. And I was like, I don't want the sick animals. And then I'm like, maybe a zookeeper. I don't like cleaning up poop. Right. So when I was 19 years old, I put all of that together into my own petting zoo. And so that was where my journey began. And I had a business partner who took care of all the animals, and I ran the business. And so that's where I got to use what I love to do, which is running businesses, and combine that with my passion of kids and animals. And then I went on to actually adopt my own 3 kids from the foster care system. They were siblings, or are siblings. And so that was how then I got into motherhood. So as you talk about changing, there was a whole lot that went on before I was even 25.
Crazy. And that's the reason why I reached out to you. When I met you, shout out to Bonnie and Karen Gibson for introducing us. I heard your story and I was like, okay, we got to learn more about you. I mean, 3 foster children. I mean, being a mom already is tough, and to adopt and love animals at the same time and building a business is a lot to balance and juggle, right? And of course, you also have your financial freedom and joy programs. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that is basically the culmination of all the things that I've learned. So I went on with the petting zoo business. I sold that, and I went on to create more online businesses. And that's where I realized that there's the fundamental thread of we get emails and we have, businesses with bookkeeping, and there's all these fundamentals. And when I was running them online and having like a virtual assistant back in 2016, I had an Airbnb management operation going on. And it was like, this is where I was able to flourish doing that and be on the beach exploring or, doing like the depths of my soul, and my business is running. And so that's what then my program teaches people, those courses, to be able to do that in their own businesses. And then that's where they get to create more of that financial freedom and joy. Well, Jim Rohn is also the mentor of Tony Robbins. And so and a lot of success. And so that's where, at 15, that was the turning point, that it went from dolphin trainer to owning the dolphins. That was that idea that implanted financial freedom. And it was like this idea of, I was not, poor, though in the middle class zone. It's like, oh my gosh, the rich people, they're separate from us. And so it was like, this was the first line that connected me to like, there's more. And the idea that most kids, if you ask them, they want to be rich when they grow up. They want all this stuff. And so it was like, you put some tools in front of me, and then I ran with it. And it was like that. Now I learned power of intention to like the right things at the right time, like putting an 18-year-old into a Google ads, in-depth thing with that personal growth is like, boom, superpower to put all of that together.
Amazing. I think the universe is saying something, because I was a guest at a panel event about marketing and branding, and shout out to the Alyssa and the group. And there was one of the ladies in the audience who was very inspiring. Hello, Michelle. I heard Jim Rohn's name again, because she mentioned Jim Rohn during our seminar. So amazing. It is very valuable, because we're students of the world, we're students of life. And Ren, you shared during our also interview with Bonnie that your passions relate to your success, because it's always a life journey. It never happens overnight, right? So let me ask you, what inspired your passion? I mean, first of all, for preserving wildlife habitats. And how do you plan to achieve your goal of protecting over 12 million acres?
Yes.
That was just kind of like, we can always go in circles. Go ahead.
I just love that you ask about that, and my big vision of preserving, 12 million acres worldwide. And I see it from so many different aspects. So like the abandoned properties in neighborhoods, that's what one of the goals is, that I would either facilitate or have a foundation to be able to acquire those properties and then turn them in, instead of some, dump. It's like a little nature garden. And maybe there's people who cultivate and can grow some vegetables there. And then we plant native plants for that community. And then that's where the wildlife can come in and thrive. So there can be all these little pockets of nature, and we let them thrive wherever it is in your community. So that's one way that it's not, I love the expansive nature. So I definitely see those in my future, and these internal little pockets to help our communities. And I'm so excited to see that into fruition.
I can feel your excitement. I mean, nature alone, it helps our mental health. We need to be out. I think you and I are probably somewhat the same age and grew up playing outside.
Oh, yes.
So, okay, managing so many things, taking care of your family, taking care of other business owners. And I know we get asked this all the time, right? How do you balance it, or how do you juggle it?
Oh, goodness. I think that's the beautiful part of the journey. And ironically, when I first started my blogging, it was financial freedom journey. So that was the J, instead of joy, and because it was just about the money, and I knew it was going to be a journey, and my happiness was at the end of that journey. And on the journey, I learned we need the joy on the journey. And
Yeah.
so that was a big emphasis of where I shifted things. And I think that's part of it. It's like you can get all the money in the world, and if you don't have those core things, it doesn't matter. And so getting back to your question about balance, like that is the balance, that when we have money without the joy or without the fulfillment that comes with things, it doesn't mean as much. And so that's where it's like the taking the time to do what lights you up. And like for me, I love sunsets. So I pull myself as best from the computer to get outside and enjoy the sunset as many days possible.
Because it reminds you of a new day and also being grateful for that day. Oh my gosh. See, Ren, we were supposed to have this conversation. And thank you, everyone who's tuned in or listening. I mean, please do follow Ren. She has an amazing journey and a story to tell. And we'll hear more because I want to hear about motherhood next. Okay. And speaking of motherhood, we'd like to thank Yona for always supporting us. And let's check this out.
Every child has a right to play. Every child deserves a bright future. Every child has a right to be who they are. To express themselves, to laugh, to live peacefully, to live. Every child deserves to be loved.
I am loved.
It's been a while since I watched that also. Yes, Yarina, thank you so much. So, Ren, motherhood. You are a very unique human, woman, mother. I mean, I'm also a bonus mom to my two eldest. And I feel like it's very heartfelt to be able to have a purpose of meeting first strangers, then turn into true love, and now a lifetime of I'm supposed to be interviewing you. Why am I getting emotional? But you get what I'm saying. It's an eternity of true love, being able to be in a position to take care of other humans apart from your husband, your parents. So can you share your journey on even adopting a child, let alone 3?
Well, I definitely it was a divine intervention in that regards to I was about 23 and realized that I had really gotten my goals. I said that I was going to have a business by 20. I was going to have kids by 25 and then be financially free by 30. And so it was like 23 and I was like, okay, my business is doing well. We were doing $500,000 a year in sales in between petting zoos and shows. So, and I was like, okay, now it's my turn for kids. And so just kind of exploring. I was raised by teachers, so I was always very familiar with the kids, and I had a soft spot, honestly, for the challenging kids. And so it felt rather, the timing lined up, everything was perfect. And so my kids came in reverse order. And so I knew it was going to be 2 of them. And so they said, I remember the call. And I mean, you got a 10-minute phone call with the social worker who had said, describe the case. And they're like, okay, there's a 2.5-year-old girl and she's known for temper tantrums. And there's a 5-year-old boy who's sweet and he doesn't want to be in trouble, though he's always in trouble. And so I was like, okay, can I think about it? And they're like, yeah, you can call me back within 2 hours. Otherwise the kids are going to something else. Like, and maybe it was just an hour, but I mean, it was such a short time frame to make that altering of a
Yes.
So at that point I was, with a partner. And so we had taken the classes together. And so made a call. Okay. Yes. These kids okay. And so it was, yes. And then I remember it was the day after 4th of July. And so my little tiny girl got out of the car with her, social worker. And there was my daughter, Michaela. And it was just this love at first sight.
Right.
It was just amazing. And the interesting, crazy part was 6 days later, we went to go meet the bio mom at a facilitated visit and then meet the brother. And this little girl saw her bio mom, clung to me and was like, my mommy.
Wow.
And it was holy smokes. So she attached to me so quickly. And I mean, she had 2.5 years with this other woman. Right. And she had 6 days with me by that point. And so it was just, I was so grateful. And that little girl is now 13.
Wow. Yes. Teenager. But how lucky are your children,
So, yeah. And then in all honesty, it definitely was not roses by any means.
Yeah.
3 weeks after we got those 2, we got the phone call that the older sister had been taken away from her grandma. She had been hidden in the closet, smuggling in because they were letting her see the bio mom. Social worker had to do. And they said, well, we've placed her into a temporary situation. The family, its friend, said that she couldn't stay there. They're too scared to tell her that she's not able to stay, but she's going to have to go to a group home unless you want her. And it was like, oh goodness. And so that's where 3 weeks later, I suddenly had a 10-year-old.
Wow.
And so that was the dynamics. And I love all of those 3 kids so much.
Wow.
And it's hard. Right now with the older 2 because they chose to go back to that biological family roots. All those years and all the goodness I've put in, okay, and turn your back in an instant because there's something there. So it's and that growth, there's not a control over that. So I think that's my own growth to just say, okay, and I help these humans as best I can. And there's also something that's just out of your control. It's their experience.
Right. Yes, that is definitely a journey of motherhood. And we could probably talk offline maybe with more stories. And I'm sure Karen also. And that's the reason why we find our tribe, right? To support us. Because we can't do it alone. I mean, I'm sure there are moms out there or dads also with these kind of experiences. It's inevitable. Even us, I think, I look back and I love my parents. I always say thank you to you, you both, because now being a parent, my mom used to tell me, wait till you become a mom. And I'm just like, now I'm a mom. I call her every day, Mom, help me. But that's part of life, right? And like you said, you helped and you supported and you helped their growth. And it's seasons, at the end of the day, we nurtured what we did, but then yes, it's time for us. And as you know, our theme for this season of In Love with Me series is embracing change. So I know you shared a little bit about that, but Ren, how do you embrace change?
Hmm. You know, I was just saying that quote today. The only thing constant is change.
Yes. Yes.
So I think from the intellectual part of it is just that acceptance and to just, you know, find that, really the acceptance. And then the bigger part for me, which really transformed my journey, especially dealing with challenging kids, I didn't know how much anger I had inside. I had to do a heck of a lot of internal work to find that balance and keep
Yes.
my cool. So thank you, children, for speeding up my growth process. And now using that in business, it's an amazing tool that anything can come my way. And please don't test me, universe. I know my lessons. As it comes, I have tools. And I think that's part of it is that we grow and there's never going to be a non-challenge. And
Yes.
when we have our tools, we can go on them. And I feel like we go better. And that's like the sailor gets better over the stormy waters. We love the calms and we have more confidence. And
Yes.
it's not going to knock us off as much.
And vulnerability is part of our life, you know. It's really the strength of it all. And thank you, Ren, again for being my first day of Women's History Month. I celebrate you. Thank you for being inspiring. Thank you for taking time to be with us, even for a short time. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear back from you. There's many more that we can talk about, but since we are celebrating women, what would be your biggest advice for them to keep going for the ones that feel like they cannot?
I have found breath work and that some of that inner work to be the most best in that balancing. And so that's where having some techniques, and I have all of that goodies and links if you want to connect, though there's just tools you can do. And some of that breathing, it can just be literally a simple breath, though it's your peace of mind is the most valuable thing. And I think as women, it's praised to be a martyr and it's normal to sacrifice and it's very expected and commended to be exhausted. It's almost not okay to say that things are going well and you're rested and your kids are fantastic. It's so I think that's let's change that and let it be the norm and to be celebrated that we're thriving and taking care of ourselves and our children and our businesses or well-being and family. Like it's just together we thrive and you are the hugest part of it. And we hear it on the airplane, put your oxygen mask on first, and literally, please, in your life, put your oxygen mask on first, too.
Yes, I totally agree with you. It's, we're only human. We just take a breath and be grateful. And for me, I'm grateful for you, Ren, because you have inspired me even more to keep going. I took a pause on our series and now we are back, and what an amazing time to start March 1st, the first day of Women's History Month. And if you have women in your home or even your daughters or nieces, please give them a hug, because life for women is exciting and also an endless unlimited roller coaster ride where we just put our hands up and enjoy it, right? So, Ren, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We cannot wait to have you back. I will talk to you more offline. I know you've got amazing things going on, and maybe you can invite everyone to what's going on with you. How can we join your programs and where to find you?
Perfect. Well, it's your YOURFFJ for financial freedom and joy. So that's my website. It's also, I have a Facebook group for free on Facebook. So that's actually where I do and stream a lot of free life trainings. And you can also get registered. I have an amazing training coming up, and I even brought in some guests. So it's going to be 3 days of the best tips to get you, are you ready for this? 3 simple ways to cure technology overwhelm in your business so you can create more financial freedom and joy.
Amazing. There you have it, guys. Thank you, Ren Robertz, for being an amazing individual woman. All of the above, you are making the world a better place for all of us, and keep inspiring, please. So there you have it. Thank you, everyone who is listening, viewing this. We are grateful for you. Maraming salamat po. I hope you were deeply inspired by Ren's journey. And don't forget to follow all our social media accounts and turn on that notification bell so that you can be alerted for our next show of In Love With Me. Once again, I am Mafe Yunan Velasco, reminding you that you should love and be proud of your own story to tell. Don't forget, actions speak louder than words. I'll see you guys in our next episode with another amazing guest.
Bye. I'm so glad.